VSiN studio.
2 weeks in a row, we've been in an open casino. With people walking around behind us.
Around doing great TV here. If you're watching on the VSiN YouTube channel or anything like that, you actually see a much emptier South Point Sportsbook than you're used to. But guess what? There's still people.
There are people, and we're gonna get even more sports other than NASCAR. We got PGA's coming back.
Yep.
It's come back this weekend, and hopefully they're going to be playing some hockey and some basketball soon. So
we'll at least have the network will be coming back to life and a fire-breathing dragon soon, hopefully. But this is normally when we get to talk a little bit about group matchups or a little about head-to-heads. Unfortunately, folks, remember Jeff and I filmed this on Thursdays in the morning, and with a race on Wednesday. None of the odds makers have head-to-heads or group matchups out yet.
We should have them next week for Talladega.
It should be back to normal
because we don't have a Wednesday race yet.
And then next week we get to talk about how I'm betting on myself to win in every category, because that's what I do.
So you can get suspended before the race starts.
We've
been down that road before.
Yeah. If you can't guess why I'm delaying because we have to talk about how we did last week with our bets at Atlanta. And we've already mentioned that Isaiah, amazingly enough, ran into health issues right after he
got so excited.
Flat out put it on us. If you're watching on the VSiN YouTube channel or the streams or any of the VSiN networks, Isaiah went 4 for 5 picks at a plus 11.1 last week, and we made fun of him incessantly for putting all his eggs in Kevin Harvick's basket. And apparently we should have listened, because he had Ford to win, which was Kevin Harvick. He had Kevin Harvick to win Group A. He had Kevin Harvick to win the race. And then he got Kyle Busch to win. Or to win Group.
Isaiah, congratulations. I'm going to follow my sword here. Great job.
Phenomenal job. And look what happens when you beat us. You are no longer the producer. We now have lovely Karina. And Karina, who I'm trying to get the crew back there to put the camera that everybody sees our producers on, and they've told me, as she's shaking her head, they will not throw to that camera no matter what I do.
She might be in witness protection. There could be the witness protection program.
Gotcha. Never mind.
Maybe her name's not really Karina.
That's okay. We'll just call her Karina then, and we'll take her off camera, because there could be some federal investigators looking somewhere.
But she did make picks. She did make picks this week.
And so we will see if Karina returns next week, because Karina does have, we're not calling it the pick crew. These are all on Karina. So we will let her pick last, of course, because Isaiah put her in that position to be in first. And then you and I both at a -5 units on the day.
Yeah,
so,
and we're just going to tell Karina, if she does beat us, have her health insurance card ready.
Have her insurance paid up, just in case. You never know with us. I mean, and 2 broken legs. Just saying. So, Mr. Motley, we'll go from the reverse order. And since I was the only one that win anything a couple weeks ago, we'll let you kick off first.
Well, obviously, and we got to qualify this like we have, that we can't, since we can't do groups and head-to-heads, obviously we know we're going to lose some bets. We hope that we can win enough bets to offset it. So my 5 picks this week, I'm actually going to pick 3 race winners.
3 race winners.
Well,
going for the big. No.
Well, here's the deal. If I get one of these 3, I win money. If I get one of these 3, I win money. So
only this way to go.
I'm going to go Kevin Harvick at plus 400. I really like the plus 400 on a guy that's been the most dominant guy at Homestead.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go with the guy that won the race last year, Kyle Busch, at plus 550.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Chase Elliott at plus 700, because I like that number on Chase Elliott. My other 2 picks, I'm going to go into the top 3. Also sticking again with Kyle Busch at plus 150.
Putting all your eggs in one basket.
Well, two eggs in a basket, I guess. And then I'm going to go Brad Keselowski with a top 3 at plus 275. Okay. So, hate not being able to do the groups this week, because I love the groups. But it is what it is, and those are my picks. And if I can pick a race winner, then I'm going to come home making money no matter how you slice it.
All right. Well, I will go second then, since once again Karina gets to pick last due to Isaiah's thumping of us. And I'm going to go a lot of chalk, but I'm going to mix it up kind of a little bit where I don't put my eggs in a basket. I still believe that's the right way to bet when you do this. I am going to take Martin Truex Jr. at plus 500 to win the race. I think that Martin once again showed this week at Martinsville how good he was. He was 3rd at Atlanta the week before. He was also good there. I'm putting him to win the race. And then I'm going to the top 3 for the next 4. I am getting Kevin Harvick at plus 115. We just talked about the stats. I mean, I don't want him to win, but you'd think he's going to be top 3 no matter what. Chase Elliott at plus 200, hottest guy in the sport. I've said that repeatedly on this show. I got to ride that hot hand. I'm going Brad Keselowski at 275, another hot driver who is always there at the end of every race in the last 5 races. And then I'm going Jimmy Johnson at plus 500. He's running well enough, and the Hendrick organization is running well enough for me to say I think that 2 Hendrick guys in that can be very strong for me. And I've got a lot of chalk across that board, but I like the heavy hitters right now. I don't see a random right now jumping into that at this point right now at Homestead. And with no further ado, since I am not allowed, come on, throw the camera. No. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's all I got.
Was that half a second?
That's okay. If you were watching, you got to see it. You got to see Karina just for a brief second. She said she was going to put the sticky note over the deal, and
I think she forgot the fact that once she's on there, that people could hit pause.
That's right.
And then
they can hit
see
pause.
Her, so.
She was there. There's proof. She was there. Witness protection. Watch out. So Karina's top picks are all top 3s. She is just sticking in the top 3. And we are not differentiated much between the 3 of us. We are all sticking in about the same world this week. She has Kyle Busch at plus 150 and Kevin Harvick at plus 115. So she's got, the 2 guys we've talked about repeatedly. She's got Martin Truex Jr. at plus 140. So she's got the top 3 guys right there.
She really went out on a limb.
She's going out on a limb here. She's got Joey Logano at plus 225. She skipped over Chase Elliott. And she did go all the way down to my pick at Jimmy Johnson, which bums me out, so we can't be at least differentiated a little bit. But she did. But once again, this is a race that we are all saying we think that the heavy hitters and the chalk will rock.
And that's what we're saying. And we're basing a lot of that off of what we've seen at Homestead in the past.
And we're basing it off what we saw at Atlanta a couple weeks ago.
But Homestead's been a championship race. I think that's the one thing I'm looking forward to being a little bit different about this race is it's not the championship race.
That and the heat for me.
The heat's certainly going to be different. The heat's certainly going to be different. And so you think that track's going to get incredibly slick?
Yes. It's already incredibly slick. I think Homestead, to me, is the second most temperature-sensitive racetrack we race on. With, of course, as you remember from being a little race fan, Charlotte. When we talk about Charlotte being temperature-sensitive, I mean, it was
Which is what always made the 600 so interesting because you would go from day to night.
Day to night.
But we're probably not going to see nightfall at Homestead because that race is going to be a 3:30 start in Miami. It'll be over by 6:30 or 7. You might get a little bit of shadow, but the sun doesn't go down until like 8:15 down there.
I was trying to do in my head where that glare. You were talking about the glare at Homestead.
I just don't think you're going to see it. I just don't think the sun's going to get that low before the race is over.
I want to impress on people the glare thing, Jeff, for a second. It shouldn't affect your betting. So the glare at Homestead, and if you're watching, beautiful sunset in that picture over Homestead, Miami. Oh my gosh, that was gorgeous, that picture. Whoever took that, great job.
Photoshop.
But what they don't understand is when you come out of turn 4 there, the sun goes and it absolutely crushes you down. I've actually run the entire straightaway from turn 4 all the way into turn 1 where you can see the sun setting under that turn 1 set of suites right there where you literally, your spotter is telling you how far away people are because you are completely blind. Take your windshield at home, take your garden hose, spray it, let the water drops build for 3 days, then try to drive at sunset and watch the sun come through that without being able. That is what it's like to drive at Homestead when that sun's setting. So the end of this race, if it's going to be about...
I don't want to go all science, but I mean, the Earth is positioned differently in June as opposed to November. So you're going to have a lot of different factors in that you're going to find. And they're not spinning the track around. I don't mean that. But the Earth's going to be positioned differently.
I'm trying to see where the
You also, usually you would probably see nightfall hitting because of the turn of the clocks somewhere between 5 and 5:30 and 6 p.m. Well, there's not going to be nightfall until between probably 8 and 8:30.
That sun
So I think that race is probably going to end between 6:30 and 7 unless they have some reason that it gets delayed. Now, granted, you could have a rain delay, you could have a red flag or something like that extends the end of the race.
No more rain delays, please.
But yeah, exactly.
No more rain delays.
But so I'm just saying, I don't think there's going to be any comparison. The race conditions are going to be so completely different. Like these crew chiefs are not even going to be able to use the same notes.
That notebook is definitely going to have an issue with this heat, with all that.
And again, no practice, no qualifying.
No, I think drivers are starting to get used to it now. I think it's kind of fun for them. Motley, when we come back after Homestead, we will have no Wednesday race. So when we return to talk Talladega, we will have the full gamut of what we normally love to talk about, which is group matchups, head-to-head matchups, all the rest of our stuff. And as we've mentioned, foreshadowing, we will have an interloper returning. I feel better now because I know that we'll actually be in the race guaranteed now.
Well, I want to know how many times you will make fun of me next week for calling Talladega a crapshoot, which, by the way, I saw a press release this week where you were actually quoted as saying people think it's a crapshoot, but it's not.
People think.
There was a nice little press release on Brendan this week about racing at Talladega. No, I always get excited on race week when you're racing because it's fun to have you in the race. So we're going to be excited to have you back in the seat next week. You, and you. Well, they won't put you in a group. They probably won't put you in a head-to-head.
We need to work on. Can we get can somebody work on NASCAR?
Can we get Group K? Like Group K?
Wow, Group K. I've been top 10 2 out of the last 3 restrictor plate races, and I get.
Then I would pick you in that group.
That's just not. That's not cool.
I love you,
and
brother.
Behind the glass, they're all laughing right now. Behind the hockey glass in the VC studio, they're laughing, going, "Ha ha, Group K."
We kid because
you guys Group K.
We kid because we care. Remember that. I wish you guys could see the look on Brendan's face right now.
But no, I will have some fun. The Beard Oil team, we will be back. Jeff, we actually we were a little nervous for the last couple weeks because we have to be locked into the race by points. And some teams were starting to catch us in points, and we actually would have been not able to race because no qualifying.
Did you send BJ McLeod a note?
I did
say
not
don't even show up?
I did not send a text or a note to BJ McLeod, but I do love you, BJ McLeod. I do love you either way, but thank you because you made the Beards sleep better at night. That's it for today. That's it for Homestead Miami. Thank you for being with us. We will return next week and talk about Talladega and break down how good or bad we did.